Well, when you think of sports experts, it's no secret that this man's name is nowhere near the top of the list. But he happened to be available, so we figured why not, right? I'm kidding, of course. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are always happy to chat with him, and we love having him on the road show. As I like to say, batten down the hatches, grab hold of something. It's the one and only Gresh. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, friend. When you said there was a sports expert, I'm like, wait a minute. There's walls behind me. Who snuck in behind me here?
No, you are the man. Let's get right to it. Hard to believe the big game, of course, this Sunday. You know, from a football fan perspective, Gresh, it's hard for me to even fathom the fact that we're even having this game. Given the circumstances of the world, from a fan's perspective, I think it's just remarkable that we made it this far.
I'm with you, and the NFL kind of powered through, Brendan. Some real issues that you thought might have sort of stopped the season. They were hell-bent, I think, on getting to this point. The NFL realizes that there is hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars waiting for them, and they proved that they can deliver a television product during the pandemic. But look, for us as fans, Brendan, think of this. Where would we be if we didn't have this NFL season? What would we'd have been watching marbles rolling on the floor against each other.
And we would have been asking you for your expert analysis on that.
That fat marble, he's a little wobbly. I don't know. He better flap his arms so I know he's walking or rolling.
Well, if anyone could make it interesting, it would be you. But let's, get into the nuts and bolts here of the game. Brady, of course, truly remarkable, as we all know, his 10th time in the game. Between us and our audience, I really thought that his best chance to win would have been to stay in New England. But that just goes to show what I know. From the beginning of this thing, Gresh, did you think he's obviously disproved the fact that he couldn't get back to the game on a different team? Did you think that this was possible when he went to Tampa?
Oh, yeah. In fact, Brendan, I had picked Brady for league MVP at the beginning of the year. And I think what we found out is, for those who are the diehard sports fans who understand what it's like when the NBA player LeBron James walks into your building and signs with your team, the expectations automatically become championship. And I think Tom Brady has had a LeBron James type effect on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That group wasn't able to really break through and become a double-digit win team last year with Jameis Winston at quarterback. And then you throw Tom Brady in there with a lot of weapons. He just raises the level of engagement and expectation. So I am not surprised that he is back here. The NFC was tough. But it's Tom Brady, man. And when it comes down to making plays at the end of games, regardless of how they got there, Brady finds a way to make those.
He doesn't. How about the strategic way that they've been using Gronk? I mean, he'll come out of nowhere and just make a huge play. I mean, he was known for doing that more consistently in New England. He's a little bit older now, having some, been away for a while, but he's still effective in certain situations.
Well, you just stumbled upon one of my keys to the game, and that is Rob Gronkowski. Because to your point, Brady hasn't fed Gronk the way they did whenever they worked together and played together here in New England. Now there's other weapons, but I also think there's some strategy into it as well. When you look at the matchups of this Super Bowl, Brendan, there's nobody to match up against Gronk on the other side. And he doesn't have to catch 15 balls for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. If he just has 6 catches for 70 yards and has a score and helps Brady on third down, they're going to end up winning this game in theory because of those contributions from Rob Gronkowski. And some people, Brendan, say that Gronk's washed. He's not washed. They just haven't turned him loose yet. I think they've been waiting for this particular game to turn Gronk loose.
Your personal prediction, if I'm putting you on the spot here, who do you like actually taking the game?
Oh, I think Tampa Bay wins this game and finds a way to eke it out. This feels like a final possession. Who gets the ball last? If we go all the way back in Patriots history, and we remember when it was Brady against Peyton Manning, and there was the famed 4th and 2 call inside their own territory because Bill Belichick didn't want to give Peyton Manning the ball back, and it cost the Patriots a victory in Indianapolis, and that would have been in the early 2010s. This is going to be that kind of game where you might, with a lead, try to go for it on 4th and 2 to not give the other team the ball back. There's going to be a lot of strategy involved in terms of the final possession, because what you have are 2 quarterbacks who are just assassins and killers out there and know what they're doing and where they're going with the football. I would dare say, Brendan, it's not as much about the quarterbacks as it might be the people around the quarterbacks on offense. But I think Brady and crew find a way to win. And the one thing that I can't handicap, that I can't predict, but I think is going to be a big factor, is the creature comforts of home for Tampa Bay playing in their own stadium. It's got to mean something at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can't overlook that. But let's talk a little bit about you. I mean, where can we see and hear you these days? I always love tuning into whatever it is you're doing.
On Twitter at The Real Gresh, where I'm spitting hot fire because I'm half hot at the world right now, which is always fantastic. At Instagram, the same thing, at The Real Gresh. I'm doing Sunday nights still, my national show on CBS Sports Radio Network, 250-plus stations. In fact, I'll be taking phone calls after the Super Bowl, which is always fun and interesting. And otherwise, I'm just, like popping on with you and going into Professor Karakis's class and talking to those kids as well and trying to pollute their minds more than Professor Karakis already is and teaching them the ways of the media world. And I would say the betting odds are pretty good that you'll hear more about me very soon.
Chris, thanks very much for being here.
No problem. And listen, once COVID is over, I'm coming down there to cook something in that kitchen.
All right. The invitation is standing. You heard him right here, folks. Enjoy the game, buddy.
All right, bro.